Welcome to the jungle. I'm your host, Andy Garza, President and CEO of Big Guerilla Sales and Marketing Training. Here in the Jungle podcast for all the hungry entrepreneurs, you'll hear firsthand experiences from business owners of how they overcame challenges on their road to success. Every week, we'll have a different business owner from every walk of life. If you want to learn more about guerrilla marketing, visit biggorillamarketing.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook at Big Guerilla Marketing.
Okay, welcome to the jungle, where we are here for the hungry entrepreneurs. This is your host, Andy Garza, and today we're going to be talking about what's happening in the local market here as far as small businesses. I know there's a lot of programs that are popping up that have been around for a couple of years, ever since the so-called Great Resignation. And a lot of people turn to the small business, making their own small business happen. There's been some programs that are out there to teach people how to become entrepreneurs. I know Notre Dame has one, and I believe St. Mary's College has one. I think theirs is called Spark. There's a private one that is hosted by Cindy Cohen, and then there's a one, I believe, by IUSB. And these are all designed to teach entrepreneurship to people who want to do more than what they're doing now. And creating a business, maybe taking it from the basement or the garage into reality and making a legit business out of this thing. So, being that there's a lot of programs out there popping up everywhere to help these people, after that, they're kind of on their own. And that's what we're all about as a podcast. We want to help these people promote themselves, get them on and talk about their story, talk about what they've got and what they're doing in their business. And then, do a little plug for them to get the word out on these hundreds and hundreds of businesses that are popping up here locally. And in turn, Small Business Showcase Magazine, who's the major sponsor of this podcast, is the digital marketed vehicle that does the same thing, help promote small business and showcase them, just like their name says. But being on your own in business, you can get into a situation where you've got a false sense of security. Being a business is no joke, and it's taking it from your home, your basement, or your garage, and making a legitimate business out of it is very difficult, especially if this is your main source of income, and to make it profitable, and so you can live at a level until you really get it going. And the question is, how do you get it really going? And the first thing that comes to mind is, if you look at the statistics that show almost half of all small businesses fail within the first 3 to 5 years. And that's a scary figure. But then you break it down to what are the reasons they fail. One of the top 5 reasons is marketing or lack of marketing. And specifically lack of funding marketing, because a lot of small businesses, they'll set up shop, they'll get their product, they'll get their service, and then they run out of money, and then they don't have any budget for marketing, which is a huge reason why they fail. Marketing is essential. I mean, it's the business that doesn't market, that tries to do it organically, like word of mouth. They may do it for a little while. They may be indulged by their friends and family for a little bit, but then that dissipates, and they're left with needing a marketing plan to actually get enough people to use their service or buy their goods. And it's so essential. One thing that I found out over the last 35 years is, how do small businesses come up with the funds to do that? And what are their alternatives? Well, one of the alternatives is guerrilla marketing. Now, if you don't know what guerrilla marketing is, it's a tactical way of marketing rather than using the airwaves and print in high repetition and large sums of money to do that, to get your name out there. Now, marketing in its very basic form, and the reason for marketing is one thing, really. It's to establish an identity and get people to remember it. That's the whole purpose of marketing. It's very rudimentary reason why marketing is so important. People have to remember your name. And the reason is because they may not be ready for your product or service right when they hear it first. 6 months from now, they may. And if they've only heard your name once in 6 months, they're probably not going to remember you to call when they do need your service or your product. There are ways to get people to remember your name. One is to plaster the airways, be on commercials, be on radio commercials, be on print all over the place. It's very expensive. Guerrilla marketing was designed to do the same thing, get people to remember your name by using tactics, specifically tactics that attack the particular part of your brain that remembers and attach emotions with it. That's very important to understand that. I could spend all day talking about how that's done specifically, but that's the gist of what guerrilla marketing is. So if you hadn't explored guerrilla marketing, it's a good idea to do that, because it was basically designed for the small business to level the playing field against big businesses who can spend all the big money. You got to do it somehow. You got to get people to remember your name somehow. Without that, you will be one of those statistics that of failure. The other thing I'd like to bring up, one of the other essential knowledge things, is when you're talking about reaching out. What are you doing reaching out, and how are you affecting people's lives with your product or service? That's an essential part of knowing what you're after and knowing who your audience is, who your target market is, specifically who they are, emotionally who they are. You need to know and invest this like it's the back of your hand, not just the quintessential statement is, who's your customer? And they go, anyone who needs this. No, it's not. There are specific people out there that have specific emotions that you have to tap into in order for them to relate to what you have to offer. It's very essential to know this about who your exact target market is.
Now for a quick break to thank our sponsors: Awaken Marketing, Awaken New Possibilities, Griner Law Group, Small Business Showcase Magazine, celebrating the small business spirit, M&D Advertising, Creations Beyond Expectations, and Big Guerrilla Sales and Marketing Training, bringing out your inner gorilla.
Now, when it comes to how are you acquiring your clients or customers, it's in sales. I mean, regardless of what you know about sales, if you're a one-man show, it's you. You're the salesperson. You're the best salesperson your company has. And it's a good idea to get very good at sales until you can afford or until you expand to where you can hire sales on. But if it's just you, it's something you have to invest time, invest education in, and how to become a better salesperson for your particular product or service. And when you farm it out to a separate salesperson or building a sales team, it's essential that they know, like the back of their hand, your whole sense of what you want to accomplish and what you have, what is special about your business. They have to own that, because if they're your salesperson, they have to understand exactly where you're coming from and why you think your product or service is better than the next person's, or more unique than the next person's, because you're going to have plenty of competition out there. And one thing I see a lot of when people hire salespeople is they don't really teach the salesperson the essence of their business. And it is so important that that salesperson grasp of what you're trying to accomplish with your business, what makes you different, what makes you unique. They have to understand that, because it'll come out in their presentation to whoever they're trying to sell to, that they either know what your essence of your business is or they don't. And it's easy to tell. Well, I've heard hundreds of sales pitches over the years, and I can tell which people really owned what they were selling and which ones just did it because they wanted a paycheck. So building a sales team is a lot of investment in time, because you got to spend upfront a lot of time teaching them what you already know about your business. And besides a sales team or a salesperson, or if it's just yourself, another essential part of really making a business out of what you had, maybe a hobby or something that you felt that you've been doing for years and you're very good at, and now you want to do it yourself and set up your own business, is you have to realize one thing: you can't do everything by yourself. In the beginning, as you start getting business, you're a one-man show. But once the flow of business starts to come, you're going to have to get help out there from people who do know what they're doing in the particular types of every facet of business. The bookkeeping, the marketing. There are a lot of things. I see it every day that there are small businesses. Maybe somebody worked as an HVAC installer for years, and then decided, hey, I know enough about this, and I can set up my own business and do it myself and get all the profits. And the problem is they're good at HVAC, but they're not very good at everything else. Not very good at marketing, not very good at sales, not very good at bookkeeping. It's essential that if you really want to make a go at it, that you hire these things out. Now, there's plenty of temp businesses out there. You can find temps in everything, people that are just supportive that are designed to help small businesses get started. And then at the same time, they're teaching you how to do it so you can do it yourself, at least for the time being, until you get big enough to where you really have to hire it out. It's essential that you do not know everything. You're not good at everything. Even if you do know a little bit about everything, you're just not as prolific at it as you should be to run a good ship as far as your business. But those are the essential things that I think are very helpful. And over the years of talking to a lot of small businesses, those are the three things that really stick out as thorns in the side if you do not address them. So anyways, I hope there was some helpful hints on setting up a business, if that's what you're thinking of doing, or if you've already set one up, that this may help you kind of streamline it to, make a really good go of being successful and being on the other side of that statistic that you're the other half that succeeds. And that's what we're all about. We like to take businesses from all walks of life that, no matter what their background is, no matter what their product or service is, we want to help them get their name out there, get, the public knowledgeable that they even exist. And they're doing everything they can, trying to be everywhere that they can, little expos here and there. But there's virtually no help for them to get their name out. And we hope to accomplish that at Small Business Showcase magazine and the Jungle podcast for hungry entrepreneurs. Now, we say the hungry entrepreneurs, it's not only people that are in business or strive to be in business. There's a lot of people out there that are thinking about going into business for themselves. And maybe we can get some words of wisdom from some of the people who have been in business for a little while, for them to inspire them to, put both feet in and make a business out of something that maybe has been a hobby for a while. I know a couple of them right off the bat that are doing just that. It's been a hobby. They got very good at it, and it was time to turn it into a legitimate business because their product and services are unique, and they got a lot to offer. So I just want to talk about, what is out there and what kind of help is out there. And we are looking for people that we can interview. So if you're listening and you do have a business that's, excuse me, you're trying to get off the ground, get a hold of us, and we'd like to hear your story. And it's possible that you could be one of our guests on one of the episodes here. Anyways, that's all for today. This is Andy Garza, your host for The Jungle for Hungry Entrepreneurs. And we'll see you next time.
If you want to learn more about guerrilla marketing, visit bigguerillamarketing.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook at Big Guerrilla Marketing.
To thank our sponsors, Awaken Marketing, Awaken New Possibilities, Grinder Law Group, Small Business Showcase Magazine, celebrating the small business spirit, M&D Advertising, Creations Beyond Expectations, and Big Guerrilla Sales and Marketing Training, bringing out your inner gorilla.